And good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. We are live in the Bank Plus studio. If you need a video wall for your school or business, lobby, office, sound and communications, soundcomav.com. A video wall for your university, high school, sports complex, hospital lobby, law firm, CPA firm, sound and communication, soundcomav.com. We welcome in Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. Mike D joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And Mike D, after Florida no-showed last week and they lose to South Florida, this is going to be interesting this week as they go to your place and Death Valley for the big game on Saturday night. Although they didn't look good, I expect Florida to play really well this weekend. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think they'll catch the best Florida has. And LSU most likely will be without their starting center in Braylon Moore. And also one of their top weapons in Trey'Dez Green, who's had a knee injury. So, yeah, it would be quite a fight here. I'll say this, that last year, other than Alabama, who just trounced LSU, no defense played Nussmeier as well as the Gators did. They really did a good job, kind of scheming up against LSU's offense. So, who has the better hand here? Because they're playing at home, LSU, I think, will win this game. But I think it's razor close.
Yeah, I think really, the 9.5 are too many. Don't you, Mike D?
It's a lot of points, and especially, too, with LSU not having their starting center. Braylon Moore really came in here, did a super job coming from Virginia Tech, and you saw his impact in week one. He got hurt early in the Louisiana Tech game. Their offensive line was not very good afterwards. Just telling you, it makes a big difference when you lose your center. And I think this will be a really close game between LSU and Florida, which at one time it was sort of underrated, but I thought was one of the best rivalries in the SEC. Neither team liked one another. There was a lot of dislike. And, man, I saw some great games between LSU and Florida throughout the years.
Yeah, that's been a heck of a series since they drew each other.
It has.
Man.
Yes, it has.
Golly.
And if you ask, craziest thing, you ask Coach O, maybe memorable moment. He doesn't tell you the win against Alabama or the 2019 national championship. He talks about beating them in Gainesville.
Oh.
Yeah. And I found that, I was surprised too when I asked him about it. And he was like, yeah, the win. We beat, it was super hot that day. Coach Pete Jenkins was on the staff. He said, Mike, they almost lost me that day. Man, it was so hot. He said, I'd never been so hot on a field before in my life. And it was a really, really close game. And, man, there was some fisticuffs before the game, so to speak, a little bit of pushing and shoving. And, man, it turned out to be a super game. LSU ended up winning. But I found it funny. Coach Oshaw told me that one. He said, Mike, that's the most memorable one that I have as a head coach at LSU.
Oh, wow. Mike Detillier on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Mike, what do we do with Billy Napier? I thought he had turned the corner with 5 straight wins last year, and then they lose over the weekend. He's 20 in his first 40 games. Now there's also something in the water in Florida because nobody can seem to get it going except Spurrier and Urban. I mean, Dan Mullen started off 31-9, and that went a little. Probably should have kept him. That went a little sideways. What do you make of Napier down at Florida?
I knew Billy when he was here University of Louisiana Lafayette, and he's a terrific recruiter. His defenses were always really good. They could run the ball. And he always had not one, not two. He always had three running backs. It was kind of running back by committee, but kind of three style way. And their offense has been all jumbled up again. It was part of what kind of led to a lot of speculation last year until it got hot. And then again, you look at it this year. It is sort of, I don't know what he's trying to do here offensively. Now, he's the play caller also. He did not go out and hire an offensive coordinator play caller in the offseason, which a lot of people felt he should. But that hasn't happened. And you watch them offensively, they really have had no rhythm in piecing this together. Really haven't. He can recruit, I can tell you. He did a great job developing players, but it hasn't worked, and the seat is getting hotter and hotter. And Bo, look at that schedule. It doesn't get, okay, this week you play LSU in Baton Rouge, and that's a tough game. But just take a look at that schedule for the next few weeks. They maybe have the toughest schedule in the SEC this year.
It's
when you look at it all the way across the board.
Brutal. Yeah, then they go to Miami after LSU. So, and a heck of a run in SEC play. So we'll see if Napier can save himself again. I think they extended him last year after he won 5 in a row. So I'm sure there's a running ton on his contract. Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans. He joins us on the Out of Bounds show. Georgia at Tennessee, Mike. You like the Vols or you like the Bulldogs?
No, I like the Bulldogs here. Tennessee's without their two starting corners. Georgia sort of plays up to the level of their opponent. Defensively, you're going to catch hell when you play Georgia. I think the big question mark is offensively how things will be able to be measured out here. But if you're going up in this game and you don't have your two starting corners, it's going to be tough. They're going to exploit that. So I like Georgia here. These games are always close and always, sort of unexpected how it ends up the final result. But I like Georgia here. If Tennessee had the full balance, they had an opportunity. I just think here personnel tells you is Georgia.
Okay. Mike D's going with the Georgia Bulldogs on the road. The line's 3.5. Georgia's laying this weekend. Could be a hell of a ball game. And I expect Florida and LSU to be really, really competitive. I think LSU wins, but Florida's going to play a lot better. How do you feel about A&M traveling to Notre Dame?
A&M has an opportunity here, but I still think Notre Dame's the better football team.
Yeah,
I'm baffled on what they were trying to do against Miami. Why you got one of the best running backs in college football and you didn't use him hardly at all against the Hurricanes? I don't understand why they don't figure out that Jeremiah loves the guy. And I get that it was the first start for Carr, and I thought in the second half he played really well in that game. He got him back into the flow. Their secondary for Notre Dame is gave up a lot of chunk yards. So I think that's the key here. Can A&M throw the football? Notre Dame's going to stop you running it. They're going to gang up on the line of scrimmage and stop the run. I just got a feeling here Notre Dame ends up with a win. I think it's close, but the Irish end up winning. But you gotta understand this is not about plays. It's about players. And I don't know if they were trying to trick them with Love, or maybe he had an injury. They didn't say, but that was puzzling how they didn't use one of the elite players in college football against Miami of Florida. That cannot happen against A&M. They've got to be able to turn him loose, and man, he is one hell of a back as a runner and also as a receiver coming out of the backfield.
Mike D talking college football in the Out of Bounds show. Mike, it's early, but and maybe a team emerges, but kind of like last year, we don't see a team this maybe Oregon, okay, but we don't see a team that's just jumping off the TV at us or whatever off the field. Is that where you are? And I think it's because of the talent being spread so thin because of the portal. But do you see a dominant team to date in college football?
I don't see what you would call a dominant team. I also think a big part of this is because of the rules and how you can practice and so much changeover with the transfer portal. It really takes a couple of weeks for teams to kind of build camaraderie, offensively and defensively. And I do think that's the new version of college football. People used to always say the big jump is from week 1 to week 2. I don't think that's the case anymore. I really think it's from week 2 to week 3, because now you've got a couple games under your belt. This isn't practice. There's no preseason, in college football. So it takes you a couple games to get all that kind of straightened out. And complacency is something, too, that sets in early in the season. You might play really well game 1, end up with a win, and you see some of those teams kind of nosedive the next week. And I do believe that you're going to start to see a couple teams really emerge after the third game. I think in today's world, because of the way it's set up, and you can't go out and practice extended periods of time. There is no preseason. All these new players, you got teams with 40 and 50 new players on it.
Right.
Even at LSU, they've got 9 guys off the transfer portal that are starting from a year ago. 9. So, man, it's not like the college football maybe we've seen in the past where, you get that one game and then, okay, you got some camaraderie. I think it takes more than that today. I really do.
All right, let's go to this a big one here. Arkansas at Ole Miss. I think this game's going to be competitive. It was not last year. Arkansas may have found a running back in Mike Washington. He's fifth-year dude. He's a load, 6'2", 235. And Taylon Green can run it too. Now, should Ole Miss win? Yes. But Arkansas at Ole Miss, do you expect this to be competitive or Ole Miss blows them out?
Taylon Reed, I'm telling you, I wrote this a couple of weeks ago before the season started. I think he is going to be the emerging young star player in the SEC. He's super talented. Man, he can move around that pocket. He throws the ball well. He's gotten better with his passing mechanics. Big fan of his. Ole Miss is intriguing because their offensive line has been dominant up front, really has. And Isaiah Simmons, you see the progress with him. Huge guy, smart young man, southpaw that is making it work. This is, I think, a really good ball game between both of them. And you know what? Arkansas's got a chance to win here because of Reed. They got a chance to win this game.
Mike Detillier on the Out of Bounds show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. All right, we got to go to the Saints. Goodness gracious. You already said before the season you shouldn't have high expectations. And they had some opportunities on Sunday, but couldn't take advantage of them. Kyler Murray, man, he had some guys running open. He couldn't hit them. But all right, what's your takeaway after week 1, Mike D?
Well, you can't have 13 penalties. I mean, that's the other part about it. That's an undisciplined football team. And the offensive line play was not real good against the Cardinals. And it's not like the Cardinals, when you watch them play, they the Denver Broncos on defense. The Saints offense is still a big-time work in progress. I thought Spencer Rattler, for the most part, played pretty well. He didn't have the big turnover. He protected the football really well. You had an opportunity late. I mean, he puts the ball where you need to put it out on the field. Jawan Johnson's got to make that catch. It's a tough catch, yes, but he's got to make that. He's getting paid, $12-14 million a year. You got to come up with that grab. Defensively, they got picked on, and there's no shock. I mean, come on, McBride and Marvin Harrison Jr. They were gonna, kind of get after him pretty good. It was not a good game for Kool-Aid McKinstry, but everybody wants to rebuild. I heard it all off season. Tear it down to the studs. Then when they see it, oh my goodness, this is terrible. Okay, you wanted to rebuild, you got it. You got it. You're watching it in front of your very eyes now. And there is no Jaden Daniels to bail you out on this team. Well, Washington did it. Yeah, Washington had Jaden Daniels. There is a difference there, okay? But everybody wants to rebuild, Bo, until they see how it looks.
No doubt.
And now you're starting to see, this is the early stages. Okay, this is you're going to see some more play that's not real good. Overall, I thought that this football team had an opportunity to let it slip through their fingers against, I think, an above-average Arizona team.
Yeah.
And I say that because they had the edge at quarterback with Kyler Murray. Trey McBride's one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the league. Marvin Harrison Jr., I thought really you saw the progress from a year ago. And they can run the football. Defensively, boy, they give up yardage now, Arizona. Really do. And other teams are going to take advantage of that. The Saints have another opportunity this weekend. They play San Francisco, but no George Kittle at tight end. Questionable if Brock Purdy will play because of a turf toe injury. Trent Williams went down in that game. He did come back and play. You're not going to catch Christian McCaffrey at full strength. You got a chance here. Okay, again, it's not who you play, but when you play them, they come in New Orleans beat up. And, if Purdy doesn't play, you play Mac Jones at quarterback. So we'll see what happens here, but I think, again, another opportunity because of the injuries the 49ers have on an aging football team. Kind of the last hurrah for them, where you've got some guys that are really good. And, Bosa and Fred Warner. And I think Purdy, when he's healthy, he's a good player in this league. But, man, they've got a ton of injuries rolling in. We'll see what happens this weekend. Can you take advantage of that? And sometimes young teams don't get it. Sometimes they don't get it. You get a shot at it here. But, if they can't play without Brock Purdy, they're a different football team. McCaffrey has not lit the Saints up as a running back. Where he's really lit them up is as a receiver coming out of the backfield. They've had a lot of problems matching up with him. It didn't matter when he was in Carolina and when they played him and he was with the 49ers. They've been able to stop him as a runner for the most part, but it's his receiving skills. So how do they match up against McCaffrey? If it's Mac Jones or Purdy, I'm sure they're going to look in that direction. one thing with the 49ers, they all beat up at wide receiver too. You know, they're signing people off the street with some experience. But, man, this is a football team. You can tell 2 years ago they had an opportunity. You know, they had the Chiefs where they wanted them and couldn't put them away. And that window, I think, is basically closing very quickly on them to be a major contender in the NFC. I think they got this year, and that's it, because of the fact that there is some age there. And, man, Trent Williams, he's one of the best in the game at left tackle. But you know, Father Time catches up with everybody in every profession.
That's right. That's right. Mike Detillier, WWL Radio TV New Orleans, on the Out of Bounds show. I think the Saints tickets are going to be easy to come by this year, Mike D.
I think you're right about that. And it doesn't get any easier, because after this game, they go to Seattle, and then you're staring at the Buffalo Bills.
Whoa. Ooh.
That'll be the next two opponents after San Francisco, Seattle and Buffalo. Your chance to win is this Sunday. And I felt that before the season started, that I knew it wouldn't be game one. But maybe you would catch the 49ers, maybe sort of looking ahead. But now with all the injuries, it sort of evens the field a little bit more even. Because, man, the next couple of weeks, when you go through that meat grinder, Seattle's a good football team. I know they lost to San Francisco. But watching that game, man, they play defense really well. Sam Darnold I think will come around in Seattle at quarterback, and they can run the ball. And Buffalo, they got Superman playing quarterback.
Man.
One of the best performances I've ever seen a quarterback play. When you look at what happened in the last 5 minutes of that football game against Baltimore. Unbelievable. Now, you can't do that every week
No.
because that takes its toll. But he was Superman late in that game against Baltimore.
Wow. Mike D, they got a big one in Louisiana this weekend, Florida at LSU. And as Mike and I both discussed earlier, I expect Florida to play much better. Mike D, you're the best. Hope you have a great birthday week. Take care, my man.
Appreciate it, Bo. Thank you.
He's the best. Mike Detillier on the Out of Bounds show. The show is brought to you by Underdog. Oh, baseball playoffs are here, and Underdog makes every game more exciting. It's simple. Pick whether your favorite players go higher or lower on their stats. No rosters, no lineup headaches, just quick, fun picks. This week I'm looking at Dodgers and Rockies. I've got Ohtani at higher than 1.5 total bases. The app makes it easy. I can lock in my plans in under a minute. Get your picks right. You could win up to 5,000 times your cash, and you can play for as little as $1. Make every snap matter with Underdog. Jump in at UnderdogFantasy.com.
Download the app today and sign up with promo code OUTOFBOUNDS to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code OUTOFBOUNDS. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks, win money. Must be 18 and older and present in Mississippi. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms.